Hey everybody, welcome to GT Live. I am Brandon Jones. Do not correct the color on your television. I'm a little rosier than usual. I just got back from vacation, and there is nothing I would rather do coming back from vacation than GT Live. And here to help me usher back in, working 9 to 5 is Mr. Matt Dannevik from Inside Gaming. Thank you for joining us.
Back to work. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. This is tough work. We're playing Onechambara. That is work unto itself. Mr. Ben Moore on the couch is rocking Onechambara. Where are we in the game right now? Did you just kick it off, or are you?
He's in a mine somewhere.
I can see this.
We're getting A ranks and V ranks right now.
Okay.
I'm very happy.
Is that good?
How close is this to the beginning of the game?
We're in the very beginning of the
Okay,
game.
good. That's what I wanted to know. And we are giving away 10 codes tonight for PlanetSide 2, the starter bundle for PlayStation 4. So if you cook up a decent question for Mr. Matt Dannevik that he
Please.
will answer it to the best of his ability at the end of the show, then we will pass on to you a code for PlanetSide 2, which I think if you get a free starter bundle code is worth checking out. Hopefully you guys will ask good questions. But
Please.
We got Matt Dannevik here. And of course, I mean, there's lots to talk about with Onechambara, obviously. But
Serious.
but let's get the important stuff out of the way. I mean, you were excited when you saw this game. When you walked in and I said the magic O word, your eyes lit up.
Yeah, we did. I played I don't know if it's the original one, but the one that was on last gen consoles. And actually, Machinima back in the day had an ad campaign with them, and we had pitched some really weird videos, and we came up with this one where it was like a commercial for this thing called Silly Juice, and somehow and it was just and it was we'll do a bizarre Japanese commercial with Onechambara, and so I did this. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll find it right now. It's really something. It's a thing out there. So yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia with this game, definitely.
I mean, it's a tasteful game.
Look at that.
Look at it now. I mean, this is.
Come on.
There's some blood transfusion happening. I don't get it.
This is nothing I haven't seen in almost every other game.
That is ruining her boa, by the way. Ruining. You can't get blood out of a boa.
You got to clean the blood off your sword, but blood does not get on anything else in the game. That's again, Ian, another reason why Bloodborne is just ahead on the blood technology. You get it all over your outfits.
It's the best in the biz.
So just for people at home, for the GT community, who the hell are you, Matt Dannevik?
Hi, yes, I'm Matt Dannevik. Most of my video game type stuff career, I worked at Machinima. I still do, actually. But in between then, I worked for Polaris, that another YouTube video game sort of network. And then Super Secret, way back in the day, around 2003 or so, I was a fresh-faced intern for a motion graphics company, which also happened to be partnered with the young fledgling Game Trailers. And so
now we're the old fledgling game trailers.
Yeah. Well, it can be an old fledgling. I don't know. We'll look that up later. But yeah, I guess I'm technically sort of old school Game Trailers.
For sure.
What? All right. Yeah.
Well, I'm old school Game Trailers.
Yeah, no, you are definitely.
Because it's really all I've ever done. I went to college and then did Game Trailers, and that sums it all up. If I was a guest on a show, my intro would be extremely short because it's just one word and you're done. But I mean, you have worked with so many different people.
Yeah.
When I right when I got out of college, I'll never forget my dad set up a meeting with some guy that was in Hollywood that was
nice.
a producer on something, and the guy's first advice is he was never work anywhere for longer than 3 or 4 years. He's just get out, get out.
And you're fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. I clearly took that advice to heart. But he said, learn what you need to learn from a company, and there's nothing wrong with moving on and advancing your career. How has that been? Working for seeing the gaming industry through the eyes of different content creators.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny because they've all somewhat been related to, I guess, even though the term now is kind of antiquated, new media.
This is your show right here.
Yeah,
you in a cardboard box with a puppet.
Clearly, I'm a serious professional, and I have serious thoughts about video games as art and talking to the human condition.
Did Machinima make you shave, or was that your own call?
I don't really do too much with my hair, but I'll grow a beard out every once in a while. Usually November type sort of thing. And so I got kind of tired of it. Also, similar to your, I have a tan sort of thing. It was getting on to summer, and I was worried if I waited too long and towards the middle of the summer, I'd get kind of where I'd be super tan in around here, but very pale. Because my beard gets there's no light hitting my face whatsoever. When that beard gets going, it's complete shade.
there were some guys. I just got back from Tahiti, and
Yeah.
boy, there were some guys that you couldn't look at directly. I mean, like, you know, like once they got out into the water, it was just like a mirror.
So handsome.
blasting off.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. So yeah, just getting back to the topic of bouncing around to these different companies and seeing how they're structured, because creating content, you know, around video games for the internet is not the dream job that everyone cracks it up to be. You know, some, if not most, if not all of the time.
Well. Yeah.
So I'm just curious the pipelines, you know, how people, you know, handle that and produce different stuffs.
Well, I mean, it's kind of interesting because seeing sort of the evolution of it, because in a lot of ways, I mean, it all of a sudden when I was starting out in sort of the YouTube-ish type game, there weren't really as many like professional video makers about it. There was sort of games journalism, like press. And then there was kind of like sort of us just sort of doing, like, I remember when they had like this thing, it was even before really there was a fully like done out ad share on YouTube. Machinima had this like really weird rudimentary director's program. And I remember thinking like it was the dumbest thing I'd ever, I was like, why are we paying these like, you know, people who suck to like make money, and like just so wrong about that. So wrong. I mean, PewDiePie's on the cover of Variety like this month or something, just like really crazy. So it's really interesting to see how it's sort of like, it's starting out from sort of an amateur thing and sort of just people who have like interests in it and not really going into stuff as part of a business, turning into now while there still are those types of people, turning into like a real hardcore like business where there's also like, just from an ad sense, sort of an ad sense, not the thing AdSense, just from like advertising money, being able to be like, hey, we're a YouTube network, this is what we do. I mean, like 3 years ago, explaining that to like even people in charge of advertising at like gaming companies you were blowing their minds. They're like, what do you mean, these people? And now it's like, oh yeah, of course, that's part of what our consumers look to when they're learning about video games and stuff. So I think it's in like, especially in the last 3 years, really matured and become more traditional almost.
So what keeps you in the biz? You know, every time you moved on from one of these companies, you know, this is a perfect opportunity, you know, to make your parents happy and become a dentist, you know, and move on.
I love dentists.
You know, is it the video production? Is it the gaming commentary? I see you at a lot of events. I like bumping into you at PAX and E3 and stuff like that. What's your fave? What do you look forward to every year?
Oh, God, I mean, there are myriad reasons. I think one of the biggest reasons that I try to stay particularly with gaming is because it is sort of almost still a cooperative kind of family that we're in. An example I like to do is that whenever like the little bit that I've done of covering entertainment stuff is always everybody there is really just kind of like selfish and trying to like get only stuff for themselves, and everybody's kind of a dick. And even like this, it's always this weird like status thing where you're like, oh, we're going to this outlet and we're not doing that, and oh, this person can't talk to you, and blah, blah, blah. Whereas more often than not with gaming type stuff, everybody who's there is generally excited about what they're there to see, and nobody's like trying to dick another person out of any kind of coverage or anything. It's generally seen as like we're kind of on the same team, and you know, a high tide, you know, raises all ships sort of thing. So that's one thing I like about it.
It was really, I think one of my favorite gaming events this year was DICE. I'd never been to it before in Las Vegas,
great.
and it's so funny to see someone like Richard Garriott just geek out about all just new stuff.
Yeah.
You know, get excited on, which actually brings me to my next question. What do you play? So there's definitely a category of the type of games
right
on a Chumbara possibly.
Yeah. Oh man.
I saw you guys playing Rocket League the other day.
Oh dude.
You know, that seemed to fit the Inside Gaming brand. Obviously, you know, you've kind of taken this mantle. You started it, but at the same time, you've kind of taken this mantle from the Funhouse team who've moved on. To other pastures, be they greener or not.
They're definitely very good. They're doing great.
So does this kind of stuff that you play on Inside Gaming, does that line up with your own personal gaming tastes? Like, what if you have time to play games in your spare time, what do you check out?
Well, like in my spare time, I definitely been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm. We got like kind of a core group.
No reaction from Ben at
all.
Like, are you totally ingrained in Onatumbra right now?
He's like, he approved.
That's how deep Onatumbra is. that's saying the words "Heroes of the Storm" with the man wearing the T-shirt.
He even has one of the
no
mugs.
reaction.
We had a talk about it before the stream.
Let's see the mug. Let's see the mug, man. Come on, pause the game for 5 seconds.
He's
Let's see
got
the mug.
The mug?
You have
Here's
the mug
the
right
Storm
there.
mug? Or is it just a
I've got a
The
coffee
mug
cup
plug
and a
right
shirt.
now.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty bad. That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It's real good. Good.
He's having quite the Blizzard day. He's got the heroes. We just did a stream right before this where we talked about the new Hearthstone news that came out.
I missed that.
Yeah, new Hearthstone, the grand tournament.
Oh, yeah, the tournament. Okay.
New cards, lots to talk about.
Are you a Hearthstone player?
I was a Hearthstone player until a little bit before Naxxramas expansion, and I was playing predominantly on my iPad. And again, I'm also a pretty avid Magic the Gathering player. And it's just too many TCGs.
Sure.
So I can't do it. And also the random number generator. The RNG god hates me. Hates me. And I just, too many times, I'm just like, fuck this. This is dumb. This is dumb and I hate it.
It's time, obviously, to talk about Rick and Morty, specifically Windfishy, whose birthday it is. Everybody, happy birthday, Windfishy. Thank you for joining me for that. Said it's obviously we can't end the stream without talking about Rick and Morty.
No.
Was that a decision? Did you know, like, well, I'm going to be on GT Live today? I'm going to wear my Rick and Morty shirt.
I just got this shirt, so I did wear it. But yeah, sure. No. Funny story about shirts. Yesterday I had jury duty, the first day of jury duty, and I wore
The first and last day, otherwise you wouldn't be here,
Oh,
right?
yeah. No, I'm a pro. They're like, we do not want this guy deciding anybody's fate. But I was wearing, unbeknownst, totally like slipped my mind. I have a Team Edward shirt with a picture of Edward Snowden on it. And so I walked into a federal courthouse with Edward Snowden on there. And like the judge was like, what's up with that shirt? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Cool, and they let me go.
That's why, yeah. When I was on jury, the last time I was on jury duty, I realized what a hopeless sap I am because they literally just handed me on a golden platter. They were like, here's your out right there.
Yeah.
Literally just say these magic words and you're
Right.
gone. You'll walk right through those doors. And I was like, I don't believe
Yeah,
that.
I would want you on my
sucker.
jury.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
if I
it.
had somebody, doing a thing against me, and you were like, I'd feel good.
Don't take it the wrong way, man,
Yeah.
but I could see that happening.
Yeah.
One of these days. I mean, we've talked about you clearly enough. We need to move the conversation to
Please.
Onichambra, which
Yes.
Ben Moore has now had 12 minutes to hone his skills. Even more. You've been at this game for about 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
What is this? This is like a tutorial arena? What is this place?
No, I think
Isn't
this
the
is
whole game a bunch of tutorial arenas?
Well,
No,
this
no.
is the level. They just put me in this place where everything is blood.
Yeah, you're
Right.
in
For a
really long time.
blood
Yeah, I've been here for
cemetery.
a long time.
This is bad level design.
I will say though, I'm actually
What'd you get?
like trying to combo stuff. Like I care
You're
enough.
punching zombies.
I care enough that I'm like trying to juggle dudes. And
But
things.
that's to satisfy your own, personal,
What?
My demons.
enjoyment of this
Yeah.
game. Is this
Yeah,
game tough
touch
at
that
all,
button.
Ben, so far?
No, it's not tough at all.
Is it wrong to enjoy a game for being silly, Matt?
No,
Absolutely
of course
No
not.
way.
Is that why this was made? I mean, this was made by, we none of us are Japanese people. So, I mean, this could have been made to be very serious. I don't know. I mean, not very serious, but, like, they could have taken the game very seriously.
Brandon, it turns out when you make a game that's very violent with scantily clad women, sometimes it does well.
This is true.
Which
Which is why, but the title confuses me. So have we gotten an Onichambra Z before? And this is Z2? The Return of Z?
Right.
Brandon, I'm not gonna lie to you, not an expert on Onichambra.
I'm just trying to understand where this falls in the timeline. If somebody wants to get into Z2 Chaos, what do they need to play
I'm
first?
totally lost right now.
I don't think you need to play anything first, but
There were some dialogue boxes I was seeing pop up.
Yeah.
I had no
Chainsaw.
idea what was happening. These two girls here, I have no emotional attachment.
Right.
I want to get in this game's world. How do I do it, Ben?
Well, first you have to not care,
Okay.
and then
Step
you have to play.
Get out of the menus.
I'm trying to upgrade my stuff. Trying to upgrade my stuff.
Play the damn game.
All right, fine.
Nagatama necklace. That's unfortunate.
So Kyle Bosman, actually I forgot to mention before, Mr. Kyle Bosman, hopefully he mentioned this in chat. Kyle is going to be taking your questions. Like as I mentioned before, we're giving away 10 codes for PlanetSide 2 for PlayStation 4, the starter bundle, which will get you off and running in that game, which I think is a perfect opportunity to check that game out. A game I haven't been able to make time for, but those just kind of giant space shooters, they hold a special place in my heart. I think that is think that is a game I would enjoy spending time in, but who has time to play every game they want to play? Kyle is on the couch for that reason. Ben is on the couch because he's playing Onechambra. Brad is on the couch, I'm assuming, because he's got nothing better to do.
Right.
Blood, what's the... sometimes you're really busy at the end of the day for GT Live. What is Onechambra brought you to
apparently
the
the only
floor?
laptop available is mine, so I can't do anything else right now.
Oh, so that's why. So Ben is surrounded by guys who just, I mean, they got nothing better to do, you know?
I think they started
Onechambra
on,
and Matt Dannevik? Sure.
Oh,
I think
I'll
they
take that
started
as a
on
ringing
PS2.
endorsement. On PS2?
And there was a Z. There is his original.
Yeah.
There was an original Z. Okay, that makes me feel better.
Brandon, I expected to do this stream and you come in and say, Ben, what do you think? And say, no, this is awful. This is trash. I'm having a good time.
The chainsaw.
I don't know if that says something awful about
that's
me.
the thing. I mean, it's like I mean, should we come up with a word for that type of game, like a Rocket League? Or
Yeah.
something? I mean, Rocket League, I think is
airtight.
deserves a little bit more stature
Yeah.
than something like an Onechambra. But these games
Dumb
that
fun.
something like a Trials, something that's just
Yeah.
it's just a fun game, but not something that you would hold to the level of
Right.
of
I'm sure there's a German word for
a
that.
Bloodborne.
Like,
you know.
how German, like in German, they always have like the word that describes something that you're like, oh yes, takes a sentence to describe in English. I'm sure there's probably one like that.
Like you wouldn't watch
Yeah.
someone playing Bloodborne and like giggle and haha.
Oh,
know?
sure you would.
I mean, you would laugh at the person playing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But not necessarily at the game itself.
What are you doing to the ground?
I don't know.
Brandon, there's a big fat naked guy that rolls around with a hammer in Bloodborne. So I
Right.
definitely laughed at that.
Okay, yeah, there are parts.
Yeah, I mean, while we're throwing games under the bus, I mean, this is what it really reminded me of Dynasty Warriors more than anything.
Which,
clean my
yeah,
blade.
and Dynasty Warriors, one of the things that helps the longevity is switching to different characters. So that was my next question, Ben, is
Right.
how is that handled? Are they forcing you to play different
So
characters?
I
Are you
can
allowed to
switch. There are two characters that I can switch between at any time right now.
select? Okay.
And I think I can do a combination attack. Yeah. So
combination?
I can't speak. But yeah, you just saw her come out for a little bit. She's helping me. She's punching dudes while I'm chainsawing them.
Matt, what are your thoughts about playing a game and talking about that game at the same time?
It's very tard. It's just talking.
It happens.
Just talking is hard for me, so I can only imagine. Like, hats off to him for doing both pretty
So-
well. But yeah.
So you got these like pre and post shows for like big press conferences. You know, Sony will have.
Right.
Bethesda, had the old Tech TV gang come out.
Oh,
and,
no, it was real nice.
I've just seen other people host. Ken Pereira hosted the Nintendo offerings the Sunday before E3. Do you think that's something you would ever see yourself doing? Is that something you would like to do? Just like it's the Matt Dannevik show.
I mean, hey, like I've often been described as sedate. And it's kind of sometimes hard for me to like be like, I gotta be big and like do this, So I don't know, probably not. I mean, I wouldn't say no if the right game or the right thing happened. I don't know who would ask me, but I mean, I'd certainly be honored. I'd be more of like into like voiceover type work rather than actually.
Now
like,
we're talking.
being there,
Okay.
Be like, and now the number one thing for this thing, doing another thing, this thing.
But that's
And
a pretty
then,
good VO right there, Matt.
Yeah,
I don't
know.
know.
That's what I'm talking about.
Onechambra, is that a game you would want to do some VO for?
Onechambra?
Are there any male characters in Onechambra?
You could pitch it up.
Might be one of them.
I don't think
know.
you play as any of them.
Like
I think it's always the
Dead or Alive is
ladies.
obviously focused on the women like
Yeah.
most of
Really
the
wish I
time,
had
but there are plenty of male characters to play as.
Right. No, I'm pretty sure it's just the ladies. It's ladies' night.
So are
As far
you
as this is concerned.
Oh no, okay. That looked like you were dying there, but you were just
One of my
revving up.
characters
They're
is down.
swimming
These guys have
Medusas?
been, yeah, these guys have been kind of messing with my.
Those
My
are
flow.
Medusas swimming
Yes.
in the thing.
Yes,
I don't think
in the
they're
blood.
swimming. I think they just don't have
Don't
legs.
have body. Okay, well that makes sense. I was about to be like, this game is ridiculous.
Again, context. I just
Yeah.
need to know like where we are, what's happening. There's a pool of blood that they built really specific metal
Yeah.
fencing around.
They can swim.
What's past the metal fences? That's what I
I
wanna
don't know.
So I'm just here to break down barriers
Isn't
in these
that
kind of games.
the eternal question?
Right.
Really, what is past the?
You'd think by
metal
this gen we would have had that figured out, but no. Mr. Ian Hinck is on the controls. Ian, I've been gone for a week.
Hey.
What did I miss? What's been happening, man?
We had a rave that went kind of poorly.
We had a rave
A rave, yeah.
during GT Live, or just
Just
did we
during
tape
the-
it?
No.
Is this something people can watch?
No.
When you say we, do you mean like you and your friends, or like were other GT members invited to this rave? Did this rave happen in the building?
Yeah, it was mostly just me and Brad in the parking garage.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Just
Yeah.
to put things in perspective, that's what he remembers. That's the last. I'm
Is
gone
that
for a
a-
week, and that's what bubbles to the surface.
Is that
Yeah.
like a light switch rave?
Like a dance party.
Oh, light
No,
switch?
the light. We don't have control over the lights down there, and there was no music.
Okay. But drugs.
No, no drugs.
No drugs.
No.
Ian's clean as a whistle. You wouldn't
Okay.
think.
Clean as a whistle. Disease free too.
Yeah, exactly. For anybody on any online dating sites.
Yeah.
As we have proven in past episodes of GT Live.
Yeah. I was on Tinder during GT time.
But everything's running. You know, we had some bets earlier that there might be some problems with the TriCaster. Everything's
So
running
far,
fine.
so good.
So far, so good.
That Tinder was during GT time.
GT time,
This
okay.
show is far too complex.
Yeah,
to
you're a
be
little
on
more
my-
focused during GT
Yeah.
Live, but GT time.
GT time.
Yeah.
You're
You'll
talking
get a
about
Hearthstone match
boring
in.
Nintendo stuff for like an hour and a half. It's the worst.
Oh boy.
Oh, you're out of the blood.
You're out of the blood.
Congratulations.
You
In
made
your
it.
city.
Good job.
Kind of.
He's punching park benches now.
Could this game be on PlayStation 3, and would you tell the difference?
Ooh.
This game could be on PS2.
Ooh,
No.
No, I don't think quite.
I'm
much
just
blood.
trolling you guys.
Too much blood physics.
Yeah, there is. It does seem responsive to the
The
actual
frame rate is
motions.
great though.
Yeah,
know.
that's true.
And I'm
The
punching demons.
clipping, not so much. So really quick, so we got Ben on the couch. Ben is mic'd. Normally we would have somebody come up on stage for the next segment, but because we got Ben there, he's clearly focused on what he's doing right now. I don't want you to break your focus at all. We're going to move on to our next segment, which is number 11, where we talk about what the countdown is that we're doing for this week, and what is the entry that did not make the list.
Gotcha.
I was not present for the selection of this list. This
goodness.
was interesting. I normally produce and edit the GT countdown every week.
Right.
I was in French Polynesia, so I sent an email to everybody and I said, just pick something, pick the list, whatever you guys want to do.
Sounds like a disclaimer.
and they picked the top 10 franchises that need to die.
Whoa.
It's a good list.
Yeah.
Which is severe. Anytime you do a top 10 with the word die in it.
People are gonna be angry.
Yeah.
You're picking the thing that their life is based off of.
And there's people in the chat that want to do sewers every week. Top 10 sewers.
Yeah,
I'm curious, what do you think? Top 10 sewers.
Top 10 sewers or water levels also be
No,
really
gotta be
good?
sewers.
Gotta be sewers.
Sewer Shark obviously takes the lead there. Yeah,
Oh
it's just
yes.
not.
Dude.
They're not, yeah.
Dude, top 10
way too many comments about top 10 sewers right now, chap. Yeah, top 10 franchises that need to die. And I was a little scared before I saw this,
Right.
but I got to admit, we bring up really good
list is
points.
good?
And it's not. I mean, it is a trolling list. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be right up front out there. Like we do want people to come in. We want you to disagree. We want to know
Right.
your opinions, like we do with every countdown.
Gotcha.
But I go in and look at every entry, and it really brings up a good point about
Mm-hmm.
we're not saying a lot of times when you have comments about like this about certain franchises, it's because
Right.
you really like them. It's because you want to see the people involved in them to do something different.
Right.
And it is really fun when you have a team behind Uncharted move on to a really cool Star Wars game, or you have you have a franchise end in something else. I mean, speaking of Naughty Dog,
Oh,
when
man.
a lot of their franchises have ended. Speaking of Uncharted, we got because they ended a franchise that we love and moved on to something else. I was kind of surprised at number 11. But then
Okay.
I got to admit I agree because I did play this game more than probably any other game, save for like 2 or 3 in my life.
Yeah.
And that would be World of Warcraft.
Whoa.
Not Warcraft.
No.
World of Warcraft specifically.
Well, technically, I guess you could say Warcraft.
Well, because I mean,
die.
Warcraft 3 is one of
Is
those.
it?
We were getting Shenmue now. We're getting Final Fantasy VII Remake. We're
Right.
notching a lot of things off those lists.
Yeah.
So in the Half-Life 3 category, I think Warcraft 4. Yeah,
Yeah.
Warcraft 4 would be in there as far as a return to the roots of one of the best RTS games of all time, and certainly a huge leap. Going
Yeah.
from Warcraft 2 to Warcraft 3. But specifically World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder. My big thing, when I left World of Warcraft was right before the end of Cataclysm. I'm like, okay, flying in the old world. I got to see how they changed the old world. I got to see the
Right.
new environments and again, like lore context. I got to see like how things have changed and just flying is a ton of fun in that game. But you move from Deathwing to pandas. And I gotta wonder. I mean, it's not thank you for the laughter, but that's not an original joke. I mean, a lot of
Definitely
people were saying that. A lot of fans were saying that. And so you kind of have to wonder really where the series is going, and if it's
Pokemon,
time.
too.
Pokemon's a good.
Well, no,
Pokemon
Pokemon inside the whole pet battling thing.
Oh,
It's kinda
I
the
thought you were going to
Pokemon.
say Pokemon needs to
Oh,
die,
well-
which I was going to get Kyle Bosman up here
Oh man.
to talk about that. Did that even come up in the conversation, Kyle?
It did, actually.
Oh.
Oh.
But specifically, number 11. Mr. Ben Moore, why does World of Warcraft need to die?
It doesn't need to die. It's
Not
just,
as much as the 10 other games we selected, but
By the way, this is normally in this segment, Ben would come up and use the second microphone, but he is so enraptured by this game.
very enraptured. Getting into
Number
it.
one on the doesn't need to die.
Get rid of World of Warcraft, but keep on a Chandra. That's where we're at right now. 2015, everybody.
You know, like, I'm of the belief that everything has its time, right? And if you make something go on for too long, you run out of good ideas, and you kind of tarnish your memory and the legacy of something. And World of Warcraft, like, they've been really Spartan about content updates, and so I feel like I play the new expansion, I'm like, wow, this expansion is really good, and then I completely forget about it. And it just feels like it's kind of limping along. Like, it had its time. We've done so many incredible things in World of Warcraft. I'm ready to move on to the next chapter, whatever that is.
Warcraft 4.
Yeah, we want Warcraft 4, even World of Warcraft 2, whatever it is, you know, it's just, I feel like the appeal of each expansion has grown thinner and thinner. That's all. That's my, I still love it. I still think it's an incredible game. It's just had its time.
An incredible game. And
Yeah.
its time was monumental, legendary.
Yeah, one of the most
you know,
important
Born
games
and
made.
died within the time of it.
Yeah, you can like legally date someone
Yeah.
that was born. No,
Really?
you couldn't.
No, you
No,
can't.
it's that was the big thing. Was the
If you're a creep,
I mean, that was the big thing. Was 10 years, right? When Warlords of Draenor came out.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
a big 10-year anniversary?
Yeah.
10-year
And you
anniversary.
reviewed Warlords of Draenor and gave it a 9 something.
Yeah, it was great.
The Office was it was infectious. You know, like you guys all, you know, have since moved on to 14, but you know, for the time being, we're really invested in that game.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, again, like a lot of the things on this list, like I don't want you to see this list because there are some titles that it might seem a little bit shocking. We're not saying like we haven't enjoyed these games. We're just saying maybe you should focus your efforts on something else. And I mean, it's hard to fault Blizzard. I mean, it's hard to
Yeah.
fault them for the stuff that they're doing. They announced a brand new IP this year that's absolutely killer. That looks
Yeah,
great.
oh,
We
man.
can't wait to get our hands on. We were just talking about Hearthstone 5 seconds ago. StarCraft 3 is the wrap up of the
Yeah.
series. I can't wait to see all the Protoss advancements. We're gonna get into that.
What are you talking about?
StarCraft
Legacy
2
of
Part
the
3.
Void.
Part 3.
StarCraft 2.3. But I mean, yeah. What else are they? You know, what are the other? Diablo is moved to consoles recently and was just a perfect
It's a good port.
perfect
It's better,
franchise.
It's better on consoles than it is.
So they have so
on
many
the
plates
PC.
spinning, but they're all spinning so
Yeah.
fast.
That-
Yeah.
What, did I miss something? What happened?
You just wanted to have the seasons, and then it would be better.
No, there's other stuff that's on PC
Right.
that isn't on.
But if the
console.
PS4 had all the same content, it'd be better, right?
Ye-
Okay.
Right?
I still like playing it with a keyboard and mouse. I
That's
still
'cause
feel
you're
like
a
I
chump.
could. I don't know. I grew up with Diablo. on
You can
PC.
legally date 10-year-olds. Game trailers.
Oh wow. Yeah, there you go.
Can Blizzard survive without World of Warcraft?
Absolutely.
As a
They're-
business.
They're kind of already doing it,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
In a weird way.
And maybe that's the other reason too that it got close to being on our top 10 franchises that need to die, because they don't just cut that limb off. You don't need it. It's like that crab gif where he's just like, screw this, I'm out of here.
It just makes so much money. They have no reason not to.
And
yeah.
and I think it's a franchise that will end. We will see the end
Really?
of World of Warcraft. I mean, yeah.
It doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't. You think
No.
forever
I mean, they're gonna keep
until
doing
the
it as long as it
asteroids
makes
hit the
money.
planet?
I mean,
they're
Pretty
just-
much.
EverQuest 1 still getting updates.
Yeah, it
This is true.
It's true.
Is Final Fantasy 11
Ultima,
still online? or
Ultima
do they-
Online
Final Fantasy 11
still
Yes.
exists.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, so does Final Fantasy 11. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
still
it's
playing
always
that?
good to revisit countdowns later on the road. Maybe 10 years from now, we'll be coming back.
Yeah.
Wait, look at
Maybe
this.
it'll maybe it'll
Top 10.
bump from number 11.
Oh,
to
what do I do?
What do I do? What do I do?
Swipe.
Swipe.
Oh, you
Swipe?
missed
I have
it.
to swipe?
Wow, what a penalty.
Here we go.
Oh wow.
Oh, it is
In
swipe.
the nuts.
Wow.
Oh whoa.
Wait, swipe on the touch screen?
Swipe
Yeah.
on the touchscreen, yeah.
Whoa.
Knocked his arm off.
Talk about interactivity.
So we are playing on PlayStation 4. What other consoles is this available on?
I think this
this
version
is
is just on
exclusive,
PS4. Yeah.
Okay. So Z2K. So this wasn't like in the arcades or something, or this wasn't like on PC. Now this is a port.
Yeah.
But like it was called Z2 before, but Chaos is specifically the PS4 version.
Brandon, I don't mean to hurt your show. I know almost nothing about
I'm hurting the show by asking these questions that I know none of us will have answers to. I'm sending us straight down the rabbit hole. Anything else mean we need to say about one of the largest,
About
most
World of
successful
War-
games
I
of
don't
all
think
time?
we're being mean. I don't think
franchises.
we're being mean at all.
If anything, they need to keep World of Warcraft going so they have more characters to add to
Yeah.
Heroes of the Storm.
there you go. I like that.
They're just going to keep on doing that.
I mean, just for reference, honestly, killing Arthas was one of the most satisfying video game experiences of my life. I
Oh,
mean, that was-
spoil.
right? Yeah, the boss of the expansion was slain at the end of it. I mean, and speaking of Hearthstone, there is a little bit of a Lich King tie-in with the Grand Tournament, so
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what other possible Lich King ties we're going to get.
Death Knight's coming, Brandon.
Death Knight's
Yeah,
coming.
as a
I mean,
class.
and
Yeah.
I mean, just for reference, what if it had, because the Death Knight had the pole, it had the you could
Oh,
like
yeah,
grab
what it would
somebody on your
be?
team and pull them closer to you, or in PvP you could grab a
It'd be
person
a
and bring
drain,
them
yeah,
in.
Death Grasp. It'd be like a drain life thing.
So would that be maybe you can grab an opponent's card, or would that be maybe return one of your cards to your hand for less cost, maybe as a hero power? What about that?
Whoa.
That
Definitely.
already exists.
Card
just like a
recursion's too
So-
powerful
What's
for
that?
that.
So are Death
To have
Knights,
on its
baby.
day.
You just jumped straight to 50 with that class. That was great. Death Knights were fun, and then you're done. There's no other classes, right? Speaking of World of Warcraft,
Monk.
Yeah,
Monk.
Monk.
Oh,
Come on,
okay.
Brandon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because again, just dating myself with World of Warcraft. That's exactly when I stopped playing. When Pandas came in. So there you go, World of Warcraft. We love you dearly. Thank you for the memories. Now die. We have come to the midpoint of the show where we normally focus on one specific trailer. I'm going to change things up this week. I'm going to talk about two trailers that are very similar, and two games that have had a long-standing rivalry over the years.
snap.
One of them is probably dominating, maybe not in sales right now because one of the games hasn't come out yet, and one of them is one of the top-selling games of the year. The two games are Street Fighter V and Mortal Kombat X, which I like both have letters.
Yeah.
You got the V versus the X.
Yeah, very
Um,
edgy.
And yeah, extremely edgy.
Yeah, super.
But they both had character trailers this week, which I'm always, fascinated with the concept of a character trailer. Whether you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
let's just sell this straight for fans, or no, let's actually really try to bring in people. Like the guy cutting the Tremor trailer for Mortal Kombat 10.
Right.
Is he expecting people who have never played Mortal Kombat to like all of a sudden I saw that Tremor trailer and man, I knew
Probably.
that was the turning point.
Hopefully they get a guy like that.
Is it possible? So I ask you, chat, and you, Kyle Bosman, to monitor chat while this is happening. Watch these two trailers. Street Fighter V this week, at EVO specifically, announced Nekali, which is a new fighter, not only to Street Fighter V, but Street Fighter period. We have yet to see this character before. And Tremor, who is a character that has been in Mortal Kombat but is now playable, correct?
I don't think.
Tremors today, yeah, or yesterday.
No, no,
Yes.
Tremor-
but Tremor has
Tremor's
not been
never-
playable before in a Mortal Kombat game.
Oh, he's playable in a Vita game.
In a Vita game.
Vita game.
Yeah.
What?
game?
What Vita game?
I don't know, like the Vita port of Mortal Kombat.
Roll corrections music.
Nine.
Why would they
there
do
was
that?
nine. Was
Kombat 9?
Long
This-
story short,
this sounds
these are both
questionable.
trailers selling new characters and fighting games.
There you go.
They're both significant and badass. Let us know what you think is the better one, so check them out.
Nekali win. Your death will satisfy my rage.
Enough talk.
Enough talk indeed. Tremor. You dare attack me, Scorpion.
My flames can burn even you.
Okay, so obviously we can talk all day about like, oh, I'd rather play Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter, or
Right.
oh, I think that character looks cooler than that trailer. I'm specifically talking about the trailers.
The trailer itself.
So yeah, so just curious, let us know in chat. Kyle might be taking a break in a little bit. He is
Banana Forklift Killer said Tremor all day. More context.
Interesting.
more context in the actual video.
In the trailer, yeah.
Oh,
More-
Ben, you were feeling Nikali, right? Is that because
Yeah.
you're feeling Street Fighter more, or is that because you actually like the trailer?
No, it's pure bias. I just like Street Fighter more.
All right,
so-
good. Good to have bias.
But I will say that that Tremor trailer was really good. I was a fan.
And Kyle did some research,
yeah.
and Tremor was playable in the tower in Mortal Kombat 9 for the PlayStation
Good
Vita.
research.
That's
Well
from
done.
chat, actually.
Oh, there's chat. Drop that
That's
in.
chat.
Oh, so we're just believing chat now.
Oh.
That's how Kyle always does
It's
corrections.
true. It's
Oh
true.
no, Kyle.
It's true.
Oh no.
Smug cow.
I mean, obviously, chat. We want you guys to fill in the blanks and to let us know stuff that we are getting wrong. But you know,
You're
then
not
you do the
giving me this one. You're
then you
saying
do the research on top of
You're
that.
still not willing to give me this
I'm
one.
not giving it to you.
Oh my god.
It's somewhere in the middle. The giving is floating somewhere in between this table and the couch right now. So really quick, now that we've gotten through our badass trailers for the week, first time we've had a trailer off.
Yeah.
And I have yet to pick a winner for both of those. I mean, it's
Yeah?
over. How do you have a conversation when
that's happening?
these things are happening?
That's the second time in this game.
Is
this
that
has
helpful in some way? Like,
I
do you
don't
want
know.
that to happen?
Kind of like that Persona thing. You shoot
We've
yourself
lost
in the
Ben.
head.
It's over. Okay, let's
Yeah.
move on to the editorial segment.
All right. Why not?
I founded and worked for a company called Game Trailers.
Yes.
You were on the ground floor of Inside Gaming, and now you are back with
Yes.
Inside Gaming. Inside Gaming was also on the ground floor of Machinima. I remember
Right.
bumping into you at PAX.
Yeah.
And I'd seen you in forever, and you were like, and you gave me the Machinima business card. And I was like, I know where to find Matt. I was trying to think of what we would talk about today for a possible editorial segment.
Certainly.
And it cracked me up that, so Game Trailers was started strictly as an aggregate site. We literally
Yeah,
just
man.
started and just grabbed as many trailers as we could and
Dude.
threw them up. And then around 2005, 2006, we started doing reviews. Then Mr. Jeff Keighley was kind enough to come in. He started Bonus Round. He started GTTV. And then we started doing our own shows. We mistakenly gave Kyle Bosman his own show.
Whoops.
So there's lots of different directions that the Game Trailers as a brand has taken
Right.
that don't necessarily have much to do with quote-unquote game trailers.
Right.
And Machinima is kind of the same way. I think
Oh,
it
man.
really started as, hey, YouTube's awesome. Let's really get as many creators as we can to come in and express their storytelling passions through, this fantastic art. Red versus Blue is kind of
Totally.
like the,
Yeah,
the Lewis
gold
and Clark of
standard,
that
yeah.
genre. And still to this day, is producing incredible content. But Machinima is not necessarily known for that anymore. They've kind of also fallen
Yeah.
into the same place we are, where we have to really take it one show at a time. Just
Right.
kind of like test something to our audience, see how they like it, see if it's something that we want to keep moving. My question to open the discussion: how important is the name of your YouTube channel?
Oh, not at all. Completely not. Completely not. I don't want to get in trouble for saying this, but I don't know. To me, it's it's more than just like kind of a name. Like, yeah, a name is sort of an identifier, but I mean, Machinima is a little bit different because it is a network as opposed to like Game Trailers. You guys, I think, are a little bit more centralized into one place. So I mean, to me, it isn't the most important thing. Whereas, I mean, yeah, like the history of it and where it came from and sort of like that formation is kind of important. I don't think the fact that it's not strictly Machinima anymore is the hugest deal. I mean, there was a time when before we put up anything on like any of the channels, we'd have to ask ourselves, would we get in trouble if this isn't actually Machinima? And I don't think it's maybe as much a reflection of a change in the company's values as in like the values of what people are making and what people are doing. Because like kind of the heyday of Machinima was like Halo 2, Halo 3, when people were just making so much stuff in Forge all the time and theater mode and all that stuff. And now, I mean, those tools are still there. It's just that there's there's not as much interest in that kind of content. So
And it's also way easier to just put a webcam on your computer and talk
Yeah,
about
exactly,
and
yeah.
stream, or just talk about some game or play some game.
Exactly. Well, and I mean, actually, we brought it up today because in today's Inside Gaming Daily, we talked about Phil Spencer was chatting about on Twitter about adding mouse functionality in addition to keyboard for Xbox One. We were talking about how that could possibly mean that the Xbox is going to kind of work like a Steam Link or whatever, where you stream from your PC and then are able to play it, and so that's sort of like your input in there. And I was just like musing out loud, how awesome would it be then to get Halo with Forge again, where you get a mouse and keyboard and have that kind of, well, not you didn't have before, but have mouse and keyboard control for Forge, and like people making some really elaborate stuff out of it. I was like, oh man, that'd be great. Why
Well,
isn't it
and a lot of MMOs are trying to find popularity on
Yeah.
consoles. We just had Elder Scrolls come out on consoles.
I had the Phantasy Star type keyboard for Dreamcast.
When
Just
Final
by the
Fantasy 11 made the jump to Xbox 360, that was like my
Yeah.
play, I was like, oh, I can play Final Fantasy 11 on a big screen. Let's do this. That was definitely a big bump. But yeah, specifically getting, I mean, it's kind of like the MTV argument,
Yeah.
It's like we used to be with MTV, we used to be with Viacom, and a lot of people complain now that like they made MTV,
Play music
and then they didn't
videos.
stop playing music videos. They made MTV 2,
Yeah.
and then MTV
They
2
don't
stopped
do
making
it,
music
yeah.
videos. Cartoon Network has shows that are cartoons. So again, is it? And I see a lot. Because when we do a new show, when we do a new
Right.
initiative on the site, like I really try to pay attention to people that are like, why are you doing this? Again, like is it really key to like listen to those people to focus on like your audience saying like we don't like this, or if you're like we're really passionate like Hearthstone, it's like Ben and I are really passionate about
Yeah.
that. Like we didn't necessarily, although granted that is one of the most
Big- yeah,
massive
big-
Twitch games, so like there is that thankfully did work out. But is it wrong to just say as a content creator I am so passionate and knowledgeable about
Right.
this weird franchise that may not be the biggest franchise out there, may not fit perfectly into our audience, but is
Yeah.
relevant to me, will help you get to know me as a personality,
Yeah.
as a content creator.
No, I
Is
think
there
that's
value in that?
I think of course there is. I like one of the biggest things now is I feel like it's definitely we're in kind of like a personality sort of driven medium. I think the fact that like television is sort of a one-way kind of communication, whereas whether it be Twitch or YouTube or any of the other services, you feel more like part of that community and you're part of the input. That's why, I mean, if YouTube got rid of the comments system, or if any place got rid of the comment system, while there is a lot of relief, like people would be like, oh, finally, thank God, that platform would instantly die because people aren't like feel like they're part of that medium when they're participating in it, commenting in it. And so it kind of like having personalities and being able to sort of foster that and grow that only enriches that experience and makes people more invested in it, have more loyalty to it, stay along with it. And from a certain sense, in terms of selling advertising, that's a very appealing thing.
That was a magnificent transition, talking about community involvement, community
sure.
participation.
Yeah. I did that
we are
on
now,
purpose.
Really quick, hold on a second, Kyle. I'm going to call you up in 2 seconds. I just want to have one last opportunity to talk about Onishambara.
Oh, man.
What has happened? What has happened in the last 43 minutes, Ben Moore?
We beat a boss. We transformed into very revealing outfits to fight the boss. Now I'm upgrading my skills, getting more combos.
This boss was a dog with like an extra eye on top of its head, by the way.
Oh.
Super creative.
And then he cut off its tail.
Oh.
If you were that boss, Ben, would you be distracted by scantily clad women with giant swords coming at you? I mean, would that interrupt you in any way? Would that slow you down?
Yeah, probably.
Do we have a goal for the next 20 minutes? You got 20 more minutes with this game.
So
to
we can
make something
stage
happen.
select now. I want to see multiple stages.
Ben, do you got the banana costume?
We do have the banana costume, but I don't know how to equip it.
Equip that banana costume.
Ian really wants to see the banana costume. It is.
got a banana.
I think it's
one
a
of the most
hilarious
ridiculous
costume.
It's pretty.
I don't know if I want to see it.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
We're going to Peru, Brandon.
All right, that's good enough for me.
You downloaded a costume and you don't know how to equip it?
Yes.
Okay.
Was
On that note,
was
Mr. Kyle Bosman,
disappointment?
please join us up here on the table,
Oh,
and
sure.
we will go through the best comments. Are you prepared? Do you have questions ready?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Are they questions relevant to Mr. Dannevik here?
I can answer any kind. Uh-oh.
I kicked something out.
Hang on, Kyle unplugged our wide, so I'll fix that. And, I'll put
Oh,
it
we
on
look a little bluish,
these
green,
idiots
red.
over here. Good job, Kyle.
Yep.
Wide. Look at Kyle.
We don't need a wide. We absolutely don't need that. Yeah, we have lots of great questions.
I just like that moment right there. Wait, let me just enjoy this, Kyle.
Okay, absolutely.
And that's the thing, man. You know, it's like part of me wants the delay to go away. You know, like part of me just wants an instant reaction with chat. But at the same time, I really love enjoying it while it happens and then revisiting it 20 seconds later.
Like,
all the Kyle comments. Oh, they're so good. Okay, do what you got to do, Kyle. I'm just gonna enjoy this.
Okay, so let's open with tongue surgery. Since we're playing on a Chimbara, what is your favorite dumb game?
Tongue surgery?
Tongue surgery is just good.
Good questions.
Yeah, exactly. What is your favorite dumb game?
oh God, my favorite dumb game.
Yeah.
I don't think I haven't got stuff categorized necessarily.
It's
that
like,
way.
imagine a game that gets like a 7 or an 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure,
I
it's
mean-
not dumb. So, your 6s and 7s.
6.5.
Oh man, favorite silly game. I mean, in a way, Team Fortress 2 could be considered.
No way,
like,
that's
no,
not a
no,
dumb
no,
game.
no,
We
no.
want-
Sorry, I didn't. I meant in terms of whimsy, not in terms of quality of game. Clearly, it's a 10.
Okay.
Clearly, I've logged a month's worth of hours into that game. You can check my Steam account. I'm thinking more whimsy. I'm sorry I spaced out when he said that. Clearly, I'm playing the dumb game of backing up my answer.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Broforce is a pretty fun, like silly. Dumb game.
That works as a dumb game for
It's
sure.
close. It rides along.
Yeah, I like that.
That's your
stuff.
favorite one? What do you like about
My
it?
favorite one. I like. Well, as I was saying, like it's hard to like come up with like I'm like, oh yes, dumb game. Like if you ask me, oh my favorite strategy game, I'd be like, oh yes.
Press releases for Broforce.
Broforce does have really excellent press releases. Also, whenever the new guy comes out, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that game. That was really good. It makes me.
The
feel
Expendables update,
good.
I thought
or
just
the
fit
movie.
perfectly in line with the
Yeah,
attitude.
it did.
Like, just do it, Broforce.
We have a slightly personal question for you, Matt.
Oh goodness.
Where does your comedic inspiration come from? This is from
Oh,
Shane
man.
City, by the way. Is there a specific entertainer or movie you draw inspiration from?
That I can answer easier.
Okay.
I watched a lot of Kids in the Hall, like a lot of Kids in the Hall,
Yeah, maybe.
to the point where I will drop those references, even though I know no one around me will get any, even people who have watched Kids in the Hall, they'll be like, really, that's one of the things that, like you said, like there's this one running gag in one episode where one of the guys is like standing out in front of a house and he just goes, Lopez! Hey Lopez! And it's like throughout the whole show he's just like, it's just him saying Lopez, and then at one point he like throws a rock and then it knocks something over and he goes, your house is on fire, Lopez. Like I'll say that to people. It goes over huge, real well. Then actually though my favorite one is for like this kid's 16th or 13th birthday. His dad pulls him out of like his weird little party and he takes him out to a rock and he's like, it's a tradition in my family. We're going to do what every male and the Klukowskis have done. We're going to go out to a rock and you're going to watch your father get embarrassingly drunk. And then he goes, hey, mister. He gets really drunk, and so I bust a bunch of those out. So that.
What do you like about Kids in the Hall so much?
Oh, man. They didn't like, actually, if you watch them, they're very cinematic and actually really well put together. They do a lot of like, I think when people watch SNL or a lot of the other sketch stuff, it's a lot of times on set and in there, whereas they do a lot of location type stuff and they utilize that really well and it makes it seem bigger than it actually is. Whereas Saturday Night Live kind of stuff, it always has to sort of be about characters and it's cute and it's like catchphrases. So probably if I quoted those would go over better.
I'm gonna stall by throwing out my favorite Kids in the Hall memories really quick. First of all,
Nice.
Brain Candy is a gem of a film.
it's also
If anybody hasn't seen
Yeah.
Brain Candy, you really need to watch that. Specifically, as how it's structured. If any of you guys have seen Brain Candy and need an excuse to watch it again, notice in the first like half an hour of Brain Candy, every scene ends with the actor you're gonna see in the beginning of the next scene. So like I noticed that one time when I was watching it, I was like, "What?" They did it with Dave. They did it with Dave Foley one time. Where I was like, "That has to be intentional." Like
Right.
you go from Dave Foley to Dave Foley, and then Mark McKinney to Mark McKinney. Love the Bruce McCullough sketch where he's chasing after his pen. Where some guy steals it from a bank, and he's got to like run across the like street, like dive under the guy's taxi to like get his pen back, and then you like see him the next day, and he's like the pen is attached to his head with like a crazy helmet.
Yeah.
And also love they had the facts girl. What was her name?
Oh, it's a fact.
It's a fact. So they had this girl that would be like in the back of a forest and then would run up really close close to the camera, and she'd be like, "It's a fact," and say something stupid that obviously wasn't a fact, and then like run away into the forest. And they did one bit, I think it was like in season 2 or season 3, where like you see it at a distance, and then it comes running up, and it's actually Mark McKinney like in the outfit of the girl, and you can see the girl in the background just like smoking a cigarette, like really disinterested, and he's like, "It's a fact. It's a fact. Girl wants more money," and then just like runs back, like really slowly, like runs back to the back of the forest. They were good.
Like 20 Helens agree.
Ian with the Kids in the Hall memory.
My favorite one is from Brain Candy is the dad who comes home and he's like, Did you clean the gun, son?
Yeah.
And then he goes in and shoots himself like a bunch of times and can't kill himself because he's so bad at it. Oh, my foot! My other foot!
Are we gonna go out? Are we gonna get a big table in here? Or am I gonna go out and cut down that fucking tree myself? Oh, it's so good. That was Mark McKinney's Lorne Michaels impression, if any of you are curious. As Dr. Evil's Mike Myers, Lorne Michaels impression. Lorne Michaels, comedic gold.
Yeah.
Woo, that was a 6-minute answer.
Yeah.
Kids in the Hall, that's what you get.
Matt, this person took a real chance.
Okay.
And so I'm just hoping for this to work out.
All right.
This is from Big Cat 4848.
Okay.
Question for Matt.
Swell.
Do you like Paper Mario 1000 Year Door?
Kyle thing.
Man.
Do you think the people in our chat like play it like apples to apples where they know who's picking the questions?
They absolutely do.
Yeah. Like that.
But this, to me, this was super early in the show, and I was like, that is such a particular question. I have to pull that one. This means no, though. This pause means you absolutely do not. Have you played it and you don't like it, or you have no awareness of that game?
Does that game make you feel sedate?
I'm gonna confess and probably be stoned to death again.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't purchased nor fully partook of a Nintendo product in probably nigh on 5 years, in around there.
This was 2003 or 4.
I was on the way out. So
Okay.
let's bump it to
years.
12 years.
Okay.
It seems like a while. That was 5 years when I realized it and then said that. But yeah, sorry, haven't played Paper Mario.
Big Cat 4848 was very excited to have the question asked.
Oh, good. Well, at least somebody's happy.
Best game ever, Big Cat confirms.
How could I deny Big Cat? Clearly.
So wait, what is your favorite game ever if it's not Paper Mario? Yeah.
Really, ever?
What is Big Cat getting wrong? What should Big Cat play instead of Paper Mario?
If Big Cat loves Paper Mario and 1000 Year Door, then that's good for Big Cat.
Yeah.
I honestly like that. No offense to you, but what is your favorite game ever is like top 3 of my least favorite questions.
What are the other two? What are the other two?
Because if we're talking about hours into thing, like probably some of the most fun I ever had was like I played a mud that probably nobody ever knows over Telnet. I've put hundreds of hours into like the first 2 Civilizations. Thank you. Yes, that's true. Micro Machines for Nintendo was an amazing
that old
game.
Nintendo system.
Really old nerd. I definitely put about 3 months of game time between 3 different characters in World of Warcraft. There's all sorts of different stuff. Currently, right now, I play probably way too much Heroes of the Storm. I definitely played a lot of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, all through it. So it turns from that's my game, or this is my franchise, into me feeling obligated to have to go through my video game sort of resume, and then it gets it's better when it's someone who's knows games. So when I'm talking to it's when I'm talking to a friend of my dad's or mom's or something, and they're like, "Oh, you're in video games. What's your favorite video game?" And I can't be like, "Well, fuck you. That's a stupid question." And then I give them this answer, and they're like, "I have no idea what you're talking." And they're like, "Well, that sounds like fun." And I go, "It is. That's why I spent a lot of time doing it."
I would take that opportunity to just make up a game off the top of my head.
This is this game called Oni Shanbara. And this lady has a boa, and she needs to get the blood off her sword to kill the zombies.
You like bikinis, right? Uncle Bill? I love bikinis.
Uncle Bill's going to love this game.
You like cowboy hats, right?
Okay, we have more questions.
All right.
We got a lightning round.
Lightning round.
Oh, okay.
Lightning
No,
round.
we're doing fine on time. Get out of here.
Each of these answers is 6 minutes long.
We're doing
You
fantastic.
gotta do 10 of these questions, boss.
When did you become director
We're giving
of
away
the
10
show?
codes.
We're
It doesn't
doing
mean we have to
fine.
do 10 questions.
Yeah, we're doing 5. I'm doing 5 questions.
Gotcha.
Who gets the other 5?
Here we go. This
don't
one's
know.
a
We'll
here's
find
a,
out.
here's a softball. A
Okay.
Spoilers.
A chance for you to promote yourself, even.
Alrighty.
This is from Swordfish00830. What kind of news or exclusives can I get at Inside Gaming?
You probably won't get any exclusives. I mean,
Well, what's
not
unique
really.
to Inside Gaming? What is like?
I mean, unique. We definitely we do a lot to try to parse sort of the daily kind of news and sort of tailor it to the perspective of our general audience. Like a lot of us are more like PC gaming focused regularly. I'll admit, but we definitely do like a lot of like console type stuff. So I don't know. Like generally, like I was saying also earlier, how sort of video works is we're kind of like a community. We have a really active subreddit, and myself, Ali, Hundar, we all talk with sort of like, you know, it's hard to have a conversation in the YouTube comments beyond, you know, kind of the pithy, like, you know, they're cancer or whatever. Just the fact, the way that it's laid out makes it tough to have a really good back and forth. So we have a really good subreddit. So I think it's one thing that we kind of offer is like we have a really good community of thoughtful people, nice people who generally care about games and talk about them.
So I'm sorry, I don't know what
Yeah.
it means to have a good
subreddit?
Yeah. So
So
I mean, I know what
on Reddit.
subreddits are for
Yeah.
sure. What does it mean that you have one and you like communicate through people
So
with it?
we have a fully moderated and staffed subreddit that, you know, the new episode will go up as a new thread on the subreddit, and then within it people like chat about it, basically a stand-in for the YouTube comment system. And so we go in there and we have discussions, we post new stuff about what we're going to do, sort of like behind the scenes about what's coming up, what we're planning for streams, games, fan art, like all that kind of stuff. It's sort of like our go-to sort of community forums kind of place.
And that works, and that's a cool thing.
Yeah, no, r/inside gaming. Check it out.
Cool. Thank you, Swordfish.
Yeah,
time for
thank
one
you,
more?
Swordfish.
Okay, let's do a fun one then. This is from Bob Hope.
Opposed to these other ones, man. Let me tell you.
This is from Bob Hope's fart. Already got a laugh off the name.
Yeah,
I love it.
Any desire to see the film Pixels, which opens this
Yes.
weekend?
Oh my God, I want to go to the midnight release of that.
Do you
shit.
really?
Oh God, yes.
Why?
Because it looks like it's gonna be just such
So
a
is-
such a train wreck.
So you didn't. So,
So
it was
fantastic.
tough for you to bring up a bad game, but would you say that's a bad movie?
Yeah, I
dumb movie,
haven't
yeah.
seen
Dumb
it.
movie, right? Sorry.
Yes.
It is a dumb movie.
Yeah.
I it's probably is. I haven't seen it. People may be wrong. It may resonate with me. I go in with no preconceived notions, even though it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It ain't gonna be Punch Drunk Love though. Mental note to self, or if someone can do this, do a supercut, intertwine Pixels and Punch Drunk Love. I think would be really great.
A little bit of Billy Madison in there.
Yeah,
just
why not?
Just for flavor.
Nudie
As a
magazine
prequel.
day.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Conditioner's better. I'm just saying, like one line that I hate from Pixels is when he like sees Donkey Kong and he's like, Donkey Kong. It's like, why do you hate Donkey Kong?
No. I think the line is Donkey Kong, like
Yeah,
a question.
that's it.
Yeah.
It's Donkey Kong.
Oh.
Just this idea where it's just like, oh, there's that Donkey Kong character from the old classic, you know, Atari day, you know, the early
Yeah.
Nintendo days, you know, that we clearly haven't gotten any game since where Donkey Kong has reinvented himself in any way.
So I mean, that is my deal with Pixels. Is it's
Yeah.
like it's this unwilling to admit that there were any video games in between. Like it's not cool to like any video games that isn't younger than 30 years old. You know what I mean?
And even the guys who do like it and were excelled at it are very like over the top video game nerd tropes, like, you know, I think I'm super cool, but he's really kind of lame, and you know,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And it's basically like they knew. All the person who wrote it knew about video games, saw King of Kong, and is like, that's it. That's everybody.
And
Yeah.
to throw out some of our television comedic influences, there is a Dynamite episode of Futurama that covers the same thing. I can't remember if it's one of the smaller
yeah.
like multiple part episodes of Futurama.
It's a-
What is
yeah.
it?
It's an
Episodes
anthology.
of interest?
It's an anthology of interest
Yeah.
2, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's in the second.
Where
one.
they do a bit where
Might be
like
the first
that they show up as space invaders,
and
and
they
like
go, quick
the,
down into
yeah.
the left again.
And like
It's
Fry
literally
plays it,
the
and he's like,
same.
"Oh wait, I just remembered that like I passed it off to my brother. I never got that last guy." And then he lands, and like they get out, and It's like they've been there. We already did it. We did the joke. Sorry.
Yeah. What else? And it's just like it's the creator of Pac-Man. Like not even we know who the creator of Pac-Man is. He's not a famous game designer.
No.
He basically did that and maybe
Yeah.
some others, but like isn't well renowned.
No.
But like in the trailer, it's just like Kevin James, like, oh my gosh, the creator of Pac-Man. You don't know who he is. Oh, pixels.
Speaking of creator
So
of
there
video
you go,
game,
there's pixels.
you ever met the creator of Tetris?
Yes, I met
He's
him at
so
Dice. I
nice.
met him at
He's so
Dice.
nice.
Oh, I met him
Whoa.
at Dice. So he's great.
For a guy that's been as dicked over as like he could be richer than Notch, and he is not. He's like just some dude, but he's so nice and happy and friendly. Like what a dude.
He actually
Yeah.
got some special recognition at Dice this year in Vegas, and that was really great. I mean, it was his kind of guy where like I saw him coming down the red carpet, and it's like any question I would ask him would be stupid. There's nothing. I was like racking my brain, like. You know,
How
I
about
think-
a new shape?
You know, like
Well, you ever think of stars?
Just have it on like a
That'd be
postcard.
Nice.
What do you think?
Yeah,
You know,
look
like,
at this.
A little like a cube with one little guy.
Yeah.
No, I mean you could talk to him about it if he's bitter that he's not richer than
Yeah.
Notch. I think it's an interesting
I
question.
should have gone. I should have gone straight for the jugular. And I
Yeah.
really
Make him
apologize.
sad.
Oh boy.
What about going free to play? Pay a quarter for a square
Yeah.
and $1 for one of the long lines.
If only we had somebody on the GT staff that was really good at Tetris. Unfortunately, we don't have that person. This guy's really good, man. He's really he's
Tetris is my
he's a
game.
savant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, much better than he is at getting questions from chat. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. No, I had to pick something. I had to pick something. You know that there's nobody.
There's
Kyle,
so
you know
many
there's nobody I
things.
would rather have do that job when Elise isn't around.
Perhaps. Oh my god.
To wrap things up.
With the exception of Big Cat, we got lots of really great answers out of these questions.
We did.
And what if he did
I
love
think he
Thousand
did.
Year Door?
Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah.
And then we would have all hugged
Yeah.
and kissed and done 1,000-year door. 1,000, we would have chanted. It would have been great. But since I didn't play that game, but he had to reach for it. He had to
Yeah.
reach for it.
Yeah.
And so I admire you
Yeah.
for doing that.
I think that maybe be a new segment. We should start off
Did
every
a chant?
Q&A with just like, something like, I'm trying to think. What's another equivalent of just a super obscure?
It's like
Not
really
super
going out
obscure,
there
but like
for
a game
it.
a treasured game most people might have missed.
Right.
We could always just ask about 1,000-Year
Yeah,
Door.
there you go.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion.
No,
No,
the
again.
whole year of Luigi, I still like it seemed like nothing happened the whole year. I was waiting for the year of Luigi.
Nothing
Is
did.
it this
Luigi's
year?
Mansion 2 came out that
Okay,
year.
Yeah. There you go. It's a year. Is it Toad's year next year?
Right.
Why not?
Toad will never have a
Never.
year.
Why can't Toad have a year?
Captain Toad is great. Regular Toad sucks.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah,
there
regular
you go.
Toad is really
Fair
bad.
enough.
I gotta wrap it up.
Okay.
There's no segue into how I'm
Sure.
gonna wrap things up, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been GT Live. Thank you much. You're
welcome.
Thank you much.
Thank
You're welcome, much.
Talk difficult, we've
Yeah,
learned. Really quick, I just want to talk about other stuff you can check out in game trailers. We talked about the top 10 franchises that need to die. According to Mr. Ian Hinck, a mandatory update is happening this weekend, probably. Sounds like really big plans are in store.
Yeah, we're doing a regular episode again, because...
Did you think?
What's that? Yeah, wait. Cut to the couch. Chat, guess who that was? Of the three people on the couch, guess who that was?
Oh my gosh.
Daniel Bloodworth is the answer. I wasn't expecting that. A hoot and a hollerin' from Daniel Bloodworth.
Sometimes blood gets real loose.
We took his
"Who
laptop.
are you?"
We took his
he's
laptop.
got no
He's just flying out there in the ether. He just doesn't know what to do with himself. Final Bosman is getting a regular episode this week, correct? Or it has a regular
Up
episode.
this
You can check
morning.
it out.
It
Yeah,
was
up this very morning.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elise
Probably-
Willems
Like
like.
a very irregular episode. I don't know about it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet because I was on vacation. But Elise
It's
Willems
fan-
looks like she has
We
some
went
kind
and
of
got
crazy involvement.
smoothies, but screwed that up, so then
Okay.
we went to get lunch.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like. Hey, if it works for Smosh Games, it works for us. Tabletop Adventures
That's never
because
been true.
they do. They literally go to lunch. That's the reality. You're talking about like YouTube people. Smosh Games
Yeah.
goes to Taco Bell,
Okay.
eats tacos,
Yeah.
then comes back to the office.
Sure.
$300,000 downloads.
That's the internet, man.
Oh boy. Tabletop Adventures did some fiasco this week. Tales of Suburbia, or as you called it, Ian, Suburban Hell.
Suburban hell.
Yeah. So
It's a
so check that out.
fantastic
Did that
episode.
go up already?
It'll go up tomorrow.
It'll be going up tomorrow.
It's
You can check it out
fantastic.
then. Mr. Michael Huber is in China right now. Is going on, like me, left just decided to pick the opportune moment to leave the country as fast as possible, but banked some Huber hypes before he left.
Yep.
And one of those went up this week. You can check that out. We did a trailer score of Spectre. Spectre got a new trailer, the new James Bond movie.
Oh, yeah.
And had to score that one. Drop that on Mr. Bloodworth and Mr. Bosman. We'll cut that first thing tomorrow and get that up. And the Talos Principle. Talk to us about this feature, Ian.
Yeah, the Talos Principle's magnificent DLC expansion comes out tomorrow. $15, I guess, on Steam and other things, probably. It's really cool. It continues the story in a neat way. It's neat. I liked it a lot. And I did a piece called something like How to Be a Star in the Road to Gehenna. Check it out.
Last year in our Game of the Year deliberations,
Right.
Ian came in kicking and screaming,
For
just
Talos?
getting, like
I
noogieing
forced
everybody,
everyone to
just
play
like
it.
you have to play this game.
I did read
they all
most of the
hated it.
text files in that game, which is something I don't normally do if it becomes apparent that it's not going to be mechanically useful in the game. I'll just be like, yeah, fuck this. But that Talos Principle, I felt like I was improving
Lot of
myself
reading.
as a person.
Yeah, I read them all, too. A lot of
Yeah.
reading.
And as I mentioned before, not to bring up Blizzard again, we did a Hearthstone Grand Tournament discussion. Mr. Ben Moore and I sat down. Mr. Kyle Bosman was really good on the dropping cards for us to talk about in the chat. You're helping on streams. It's what you've done a lot of live stream assistance today, Kyle. And I want you to know I appreciate it. I joke, I jest, but I love you, Kyle.
Oh, thanks.
Speaking of streams, tomorrow we are continuing our playthrough of Final Fantasy VII because you
man.
gotta. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta play this game.
Are you speculating how the refashioning will be done each time? Be like, in this place,
No.
they're gonna do this.
No.
There's probably
Just
that's
playing the
not.
game for
Yeah.
for
Do
what it is.
Yeah, what? Why you gotta
Yeah.
do more than that? It's FF7 not good enough on its own?
Those random encounters piss me off.
They're coming back.
Back
they're
when-
not, they're not gonna skip random encounters, are they? I mean, they're gonna.
Oh, that would be
Yeah,
such a bummer.
Are you gonna see Are you gonna see enemies in the environment? Oh, that's a whole nother stream that we can talk
Please
about.
do that. I'd be like, where's do I get out? And as I'm looking for that
Screen shattered?
90, and oh, dude, so much frustration.
Is that 7? Dun, 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 dun. Or is that another one? Boy, all those battle themes just.
That's
Float
10,
around my
dude.
head.
That's 10.
Is that 10? Okay,
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. You're forgiven.
How'd 7 go? What was 7?
No.
Something like that.
Yeah,
You're probably gonna do there. You're probably gonna.
They always
you're
start
gonna
with
lead into
that.
one of them.
Yeah.
And Street Fighter V. Speaking of, we watched the trailer earlier today on the show. We are going to get our chance to crack into the beta on Friday, and do.
Blow out that beta, man.
We're going to blow that beta out.
Yeah, we got the stream and a couple other things Ben's gonna do.
So that'll be really exciting, Mr. Ben Moore. If he's this passionate about One Chambra, you can only imagine how intent he's going to be. We got to cut to Ben. I mean, look at Ben. Just look at how passionate he is right now. He's so into this.
This boss is fucking terrible. I've been doing this for like 20 minutes.
Awesome.
I like that you're rolling with the squad now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they all do
all
the
in
same
sync.
We
thing.
all
Yeah.
clean our weapons at the same time.
This
Nice.
is cool.
Yeah.
All right. You have a couple minutes. You got to wrap it up. You got to kill that boss.
I like how she points sometimes. Like after you do an attack, she'll like,
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice cinematography on
Yeah.
that too. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you for watching us play One Chambra and talk to Mr. Matt Dannevik. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can subscribe to our Twitch channel, which you're watching right now, or you can go to YouTube. We have 2 channels, Game Trailers and GT Reviews. You can visit our website, GameTrailers.com. Thank you, Ben Moore, for putting up this game for an hour and excelling, I might add. Lots of blood everywhere. And I don't just mean Mr. Daniel over there in the corner of the couch. And thank you, Matt Dannevik. Plug some stuff, my man. What do you got coming up?
Oh, certainly. I mean, we do a daily news show on Machinima, YouTube/Machinima. And then, as I mentioned earlier, on our subreddit, you can go to reddit.com/r/inside gaming. And then my Twitter is DEJAY Matty D. What the heck is that?
They chopped off the head.
Oh.
And now the head is running around.
Do you suppose it's using its lips to move?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's using its tongue.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, the tongue.
I'm sorry, did you spell it like DJ the Street Fighter character?
-1 E.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
DEJAY.
JAYMATTYD. I chose it before I knew I had to use it.
Did I misspell
publicly.
that? Have we been misspelling that the entire time, or did you?
But I fixed it.
Oh, you fixed it.
Okay, let's put it up right now.
I knew it was DJ Matty D, but I didn't have the exact spelling.
That's all good.
Let's see it right now.
Yep, that's the one.
Boom.
There you go. Boom.
Ian Hinck with the save. Everybody
you.
makes fun of me, man. Everybody makes fun of the TriCaster. Everybody
doesn't
says everything's Ian's fault.
It
That was an
doesn't
Ian
stay up
save
for long
right there.
enough. Imagine writing that down, Ian.
That's
Yeah, I agree.
But you're
I assume they record.
I would say you're a
screenshot
significant
every-
gaming presence on the
Oh,
Twitters. I
thank
think
you.
if you do the @DE.
I'll
Jet,
pop up. It'll find.
gonna
Or
get right in
probably
there.
if you even like search for Matt Dannevik.
Yeah, if you
most-
search
most
for
are
Matt
regular
Dan,
name.
Yeah.
I have a somewhat tricky surname sometimes.
Can I call you Dan Matovic?
Please, or
Nice.
Datmanovic.
Oh, okay, there we
actually.
go.
Or if you do, I think there was some sort of Star Wars name generator where if you just do it backwards, I'm Tam Kivanad.
Nice.
That's a
You know,
cool Star Wars name.
Yeah, I'm a
Senaj
Sith.
Nodnarb. Oh yeah. You never forget that. Senaj Nodnarb.
Kin Nay.
Okay.
That one's a bummer.
Gotta end on that one, folks.
Nice.
Thanks so much, man, for
Oh,
stopping by.
dude, my pleasure.
One of these days, I'm just gonna like you got the window behind you when
Yeah.
you shoot your show. A giant rock with a GT logo on it is gonna come flying through the
I would
window.
love to be hit in the head
I'm
with
gonna
the
rappel
GT
in
rock.
Ghost Recon style.
Honestly, we stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on the Machinima Twitch, and so you guys, all of you, should come in sometime.
There it is. You can look forward to it later. Thanks again, man.
Oh,
Really
thank you for
appreciate it.
having
Tune in
me.
next week for another GT Live. Thank you guys for watching.